the Agile brand.
What if you could uncover deep digital insights on customer behaviors and trends without being a data scientist or having specialized technical knowledge? Glassbox Insights Assistant might be for you. Glassbox is an AI-fueled customer intelligence platform that proactively transforms data into decisions, capturing an infinite amount of digital interactions, surfacing root causes of behavior, and enhancing customer experiences. Welcome to One Amazing Thing About Glassbox. I'm your host, Greg Kihlström, and I'd like to welcome David Geffen, VP of Product Marketing at Glassbox, and he's going to be sharing one amazing thing about Glassbox with us today, Glassbox Insights Assistant. David, welcome to the show.
Great to be here. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing this in action here. Before we do that, though, why don't you give us a little background on yourself and your role at Glassbox?
Sure. I'm VP of Product Marketing in Glassbox, and Glassbox is basically an AI-fueled customer intelligence platform. We develop and execute marketing strategies for our products. And basically, me and our team are responsible on the product positioning, messaging, go-to-market strategies, communicating the product roadmap to the stakeholders, working with the sales teams, of course, and making sure basically that customers can also realize value from what they invest in Glassbox.
Great,
So that's
great.
all about what I do.
Nice. Yeah. So and you know, Glassbox certainly has a lot of features. There's a lot of things we could talk about today, but you know, you chose Glassbox Insights Assistant to showcase. Just curious, you know, who's the audience for this? Why is it important to them?
So I'll just take here a second, just go into kind of what Glassbox actually does, and just in the literally here's the 15-second pitch. You know that time when you go into a website or a mobile app and try and do something, doesn't matter if it's paying your bill, change your flight seat, buy something, pay anything around that, and you simply can't do what you're doing. The site doesn't work or just doesn't work for you, and you end up going up and down and scrolling around, and at the end you end up quitting. And if you're in a good mood, then you don't smash your phone against the wall that day. I mean, it happens to most of us like once, twice a day.
Yep, already happened this morning for me, but yeah.
Yeah, so basically we find those areas in the website and the app so that organizations can basically enable their customers to do what they came to do. Simple as that.
Great.
So that's kind of what Glassbox does. And we've been in this area for, I think, around 10 years now, kind of losing count. It's pretty fascinating times.
Nice. Great. Well, yeah, let's take a look. Why don't you walk us through the Glassbox Insights Assistant, and if you want to share your screen.
Yeah, sure. So just before that, just to give like kind of the context, what usually happens in places like this, and this is like how does like kind of Glassbox actually do it? We go ahead and basically capture every single event and activity and element which happens across that customer's digital journey. Here's a question for you, just kind of, Greg. Imagine, let's say, a standard visit for you to a website, or let's say you're using a mobile app. You've got now, I don't know, you're paying your bill or you want to fill out a form. Roughly, you're going through around 7 to 8 different views or 7 to 8 different pages. Do you have any idea, roughly on average, how many events actually happen during that time while you're in those mere 7-8 pages? How many events kind of happen?
Yeah, I definitely a lot more than 7 or 8. Probably like, you know, 50 to 100 or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's more around like 1,000 events, which happen. I mean, it's not like what IP you're coming from, but what you pressed on, but it's also kind of like where you swiped, and did you rotate your screen? Did you pinch it? Anything? What kind of device you're doing? What pages you're in? What elements you were clicking? Where you scrolled up and down? We're taking out all the PII and the stuff which you cannot capture.
Yeah.
It's basically a conversation, just instead of two people here having a conversation, it's more like you having a conversation with an application. You're basically asking it to do stuff, and it does stuff for you. Now, as I said, we capture this all, and the essential thing which organizations do is then they replay this session. It appears as if it's a video, so you can basically replay exactly what your customers went through, and it's used for various reasons by different people. So DevOps people try and figure out what bugs are on their site or mobile app and what they need to take care of first. Marketing try and figure out why certain marketing campaigns are not working. Product and digital experience start to look at how people are actually engaging with their sites, where they're leaving, why is this new great feature which they just created, why are people not interacting with it?
Yeah.
So it's got a lot of usage, but what we found was because it's being used by so many people, one of the challenges which we had is that the people who were using Glassbox needed a certain technical experience in order to understand what actually was happening, in order to create the right queries, show me kind of all the right sessions. And I'll go ahead right now and kind of, I'll quickly share my screen.
Yeah.
What you see over here is basically a list. You see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, now, beautiful. So what you can see over here, and I'll just move a whole bunch of stuff around here. You can see a list of all the sessions which happened in the past day or the past week or the past month. And these are all sessions by different customers. And you can see what kind of browsers there are. And if I click on one of them, I'll simply go ahead and be able to play them. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and just take one as an example. Doesn't even matter. I'll go into this session and you'll go ahead right now and see, once I'm playing it, you can see exactly what this customer was going for. So you can see literally their entire activity. Now, this isn't something too new. I mean, it kind of, first time you see it, it's like people say, oh my God, this is crazy. But
Right.
this is fairly straightforward. There are many tools out there. But the core, remember we talked about those like 1,000 elements which happen? This is all over here on the side. See, and I just chose a random one here. Ajax errors where they click the text which they change. Here, there's a console error. Everything, all this is all captured. Now, you've got all this over here. And what we found was that when people were trying to use Glassbox, they had a big challenge in figuring out what questions they wanted to ask, because at the end of the day, they needed kind of they needed to understand basically, oh, what exactly is captured, so we can go ahead and start asking, the right queries here. So you could of course search core text and build filters, but it was fairly complicated in building all those filters because there was so much data over there. And this is when we had guys said, okay, look, why don't we incorporate AI inside this and have it basically translate a standard question into something which the system will understand. And that's exactly where the Glassbox, where Gia came inside, the Insight Assistant, which is over here. And basically, let's say you want to go ahead and say, give me please all the sessions which came from London, okay? Yeah. Rather than figuring out where the IP is, show me sessions from London. Find sessions. By the way, this is a real system. You're not watching here like a demo. So
nice. Yeah.
All the sessions here, and it says here, showing sessions from London. Okay. And of course, it goes like more than that. Show me sessions from London over 10 minutes. Okay. And of course, you can do it like there weren't any.
Yeah.
Simple as that. They just didn't find any kind of those sessions. Let's say that between 2 to 4 minutes. And of course, you can write with typos and the whole thing, just like you would do with any, OpenAI. It found those 2 sessions. Okay. By the way, how's this from London?
Right.
Apparently, there's a because there is a place in Canada called London.
Oh, London, Ontario. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool,
Nice.
isn't it? You
Yeah.
don't need to kind of like and think the whole thing out. So that's like, okay, that's kind of fun and everything. But then just imagine, let's say, a C-level who's really interested in understanding, hey, how are my customers satisfied with our site? He can go now and start asking like all these questions, which up until now would be like really complicated for him to ask.
Yeah.
Could come and say, show me. And imagine he's show me sessions where customers get annoyed. And he doesn't know how to spell too well. He doesn't know how to phrase his English too well, but he just puts it in there.
Yeah.
And what happens is the system automatically, we translate it in the back to something which makes sense, okay? Where there were dead clicks, where were bad submissions, where there was where there were click errors. We translate the whole thing, and here you've got the entire list of those sessions, which you now can go ahead and see exactly how many he found, okay? Now,
and I would imagine you could refine that as well. Like if something in that list is like, that's not really something that's in the
exactly.
Yeah.
So this was like the stage one, and we saw that customers like really, really loved it. Okay. Now, just want to show you here an example, because this is where we took it to the next level. We said, wait a minute. If it can find sessions, viewing the sessions is also time consuming. I mean, who views now a session? I mean, what you just saw like 5 minutes ago, I mean, that's so 2020. I mean, come on. I mean, viewing a session, but seriously, think about it. Look at this one, just to like this session over here is 57 minutes. The customer was in the site for 57 minutes.
Wow.
And he had a lot of experience issues here. Now, I could go through this session now and I'm the hit play. We're not going to spend now 57 minutes looking at all the issues which that specific customer had. No matter how interesting it is, you can start playing the whole thing, but this can take a long time. Now, of course, you can speed things up and everything, but we said, wait a minute. If we can use Gia to find sessions, can we use also Gia to summarize sessions? And then we went and said, yeah, let's do that. And let's just go ahead and click on this. This is a long session, so I'm not exactly sure. It didn't take too long. And there you go. It will now summarize all the key takeaways from this session, including having links inside to the places where the issues were, and give you the session summary. Why spend 57 minutes on viewing the whole session where it can tell me exactly the user browsing session starting on the click triggering, it tells me exactly where the errors are, and I can jump to those places inside the session, okay? Exactly to where the issues are. Here's, look at this. The user returned to the click trigger gateway several times with page reload events and repeated dead click struggles. A dead click is, by the way, when you think that something is clickable.
Oh,
but it's not. So you like try and click it in, and then you can take it and basically say, okay, well, let's go ahead and see where this is. Beautiful. I jumped straight to it in the session, and it's right over here.
Very cool.
So this is how we kind of used AI in order to make things basically easy. And the main benefit which we've seen from this is the best way to say is it kind of democratized Glassbox. From something which was regarded very, very important and worked, but was used by a few experts in the organization to understand customer frustrations and campaigns and level of engagement. We suddenly have now C-levels and people who've got no idea how it actually works, but because they can ask simple question and summarize complex scenarios in one sentence, it's basically democratize Glassbox for everyone. That is kind of one of the big values of it.
Yeah, no, that's great, and I love that. I think this is such a great use of Gen AI too, and to your point about the democratization, and also just even if you understand the platform, creating a query, you can, again, if you can edit what the query becomes, like you can just ask a simple question and get some ideas for how to construct a query, even if even if you know things a little bit better. No, this is
Yeah.
very, very cool. Great to see it. So then, one follow-up question for you. I can think of some ideas off the top of my head, but what's a likely next step? Someone using this, let's say they're a C-level or a non-technical leader in an org, they use this, they get some answers. What might they do next?
So you've got basically two next steps. One is like more stuff which we're working on now and is going to be coming out pretty soon, and one which is a bit longer down the road, but from my perspective is mind blowing. The one which is closer around is starting to give us. Okay, so this is like this is very, very cool and it allows it, but the thing which we found the main challenge our customers have is, okay, every site, we spoke about it before, everyone who understands technology knows that there are always bugs in your site. There's always stuff,
Right.
which doesn't work. And finding like the odd bug here and there, the main thing is to try and understand, okay, how much else is this, where else is this happening?
Yeah.
And how is it impacting, abandonment or conversion? So the idea is summarizing not one, but a whole bunch of sessions. Literally, like, give me please all the sessions where customers were frustrated. Give me please the most common, what the most common patterns over them, instead of like even starting to go through them or like looking at a journey map, which we have, and trying to analyze them. Like really, really take it and start to analyze bunches of sessions. So that's kind of in the short term, and we're on that now. The one though which blows my mind is, wait a minute. We've taken AI over here to go ahead and ask the right questions, summarize the answers. Can we now take AI to start making changes to the site automatically based on the errors it finds? And that is mind-blowing because there's so many experience issues. Mobile is always like the easiest and most common example. Many organizations, when they adapt their website for mobile, the page will be not appear in the same way, or the view will not appear in the same way, depending on the device, on the screen size, on the device type. And sometimes not all these considerations are taken into account. And what you suddenly see is that, let's say, a submit button, which is very clear on one type of device, appears below the fold on another device. And then people are looking, where to click. They cannot find the button. It happens to many people. Click here. Where's here? I can't find here. And they start looking, and most people figure it out, but some people don't. And it's a poor experience. Now, if we have Gia, as she's called, understand where the issues are, we can now also have Gia provide its own recommendations to, this is what you have to fix, and it goes directly to the product owner, where he can then test it very, very quickly and launch it. Meaning that you're now using AI not only to ask the right questions, understand where the experience is, but impact very, very quickly that experience of a customer. It's all around that. And that is something which, just imagine, you're going into an app and it doesn't work, and for you, and the day later the whole thing is solved because they
that feedback loop of from experience to change and improvement, that shortens that life cycle. I mean, I also think, this could have impacts for qualitative research. Why send surveys when you can actually see what people are doing, and the moment they're getting frustrated, or the moment of delight, or whatever. So definitely, I think there's so many interesting things here.
And by the way, it's funny you should mention surveys, because that is the one thing which we in a different field we're already doing today. We found that the whole idea of surveying, and we have our own what's called like the VOC, asking customers where things are right and where things are wrong.
Yeah.
The main problem with surveys is that most people don't answer them.
Right.
And therefore, you're basing your decision on a very, very small number. But imagine this. If you got a few answers from customers who gave, let's say, a positive answer or a negative answer, doesn't even matter what. But you could then say, okay, these sessions where they gave a poor answer, I may only have 3 answers, but these 3 answers represent another 200 sessions, which I know have had by other customers who've had the same experience. And AI goes and picks that up. Starting giving the weight to the surveys, you can basically start hearing the voice of those silent people as well. So the whole idea of analyzing all this data in order to perfect the experience is something huge. It's mind-blowing what is happening in this area in the past few months. And if I sound excited, it really is because I am. You really can see how AI is impacting the customer experience in a good way.
Yeah. No, I think it's fascinating too. Well, no, this has been great. Well, David, thanks so much for joining today. One last question for you. People that saw this and want to learn more, want to get their hands on it, what's the next best step for them to take?
Well, best place will be to, of course, go to our website to learn more. There's a lot of information there, and there's always like a button there to go ahead and contact us and see a demo. The key question which we always ask also, like when we speak to customers, because as you see now, you say, oh my God, there are like a million ways which we can go ahead and use it. That's what we try and figure out. Kind of, okay, let's understand what your problem is, understand what you're trying to achieve, and then fit the right solution for you. But yeah, going to glassbox.com is a great place where you can learn more. And yeah, I think I'll leave it there.
Great, wonderful. Well, again, I'd like to thank David Geffen, VP of Product Marketing at Glassbox, for joining the show. You can learn more about David and Glassbox by following the links in the show notes.
Thanks a lot.